what's up?
What's going on, buddy?
Chilling. Here we are again, episode number 5, the Infinite Universe podcast. Welcome, all my trash pandas and true believers. I'm your host, DJ by night, fanboy by day, J Days, here with my co-host Ben Metlis.
What's up, everyone?
And man, I'm still hyped from the Avengers buzz.
Dude, I have people coming up to me and asking me how it was who I know are not interested even in the genre.
Yeah.
It's become a pop culture phenomenon.
It has. I think I've decided it's my favorite Marvel movie. It's so entertaining to me from beginning to end. I'm still hyped from it. But anyway, here we are a few weeks later from all that with another podcast. And Ben, we're actually wrapping up the TV season right now. So in this episode, we're going to talk about some of our favorite television shows, including The Flash, Gotham, and Legion. We actually talk a lot of DC news, plus release dates, rumors, and more. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to start off with the most recent news in the superhero universe. All right, we said it before, Avengers, Infinity Wars, it's breaking all sorts of records now. Breaking $1 billion in just 11 days.
That's insane.
I mean, we knew it though, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, with Black Panther doing as well as it did, you knew this was going to blow that out of the water.
Of course. Primarily because of guys like us who saw it more than once.
Multiple times. Yeah. It's everywhere, man. And even, everywhere. It's just late night television shows. Have you caught any of them?
Yes.
Jimmy Kimmel?
The mean tweets was hilarious.
There's been some really good appearances from this cast. You know what I noticed actually, though? A lot of them actually don't know a lot about their characters.
No.
But it's okay. I mean, they're actors, right? They're not fanboys. They don't breathe and live this. But it's just kind of interesting to know that some of them know little about their characters, and then some of them do some research for it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they have to know the backstories, but I'm sure they're not all comic book geeks like us. But that doesn't matter to me, as long as they play the part right.
Yeah. So what else?
We can also talk about how James Gunn, who I didn't know this, but he helped write some of the Guardians of the Galaxy part in the Avengers. He wrote the dialogue, right? He wrote the dialogue for it, and he was the executive producer for Infinity War. He recently released a statement saying what Groot's final words were before he disappeared. He called Raccoon Dad.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of cool.
That makes that part even more sad, though.
At first, when I heard that, I'm like, wait, why does this guy get to say what the last word was? And then when I found out he writes a lot of the dialogue for the characters, I'm like, all right, I guess respectfully, he's allowed. I'll give him a pass.
He did direct the first and second Guardians, so he knows them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. Let's talk some more space news. Star Wars, a Solo... What is it? Solo, a Star Wars movie?
Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, it's coming out, May 25th, right? Recently, Donald Glover was on SNL doing a Lando sketch.
That entire episode was hilarious with Donald Glover.
He's so talented, that guy.
That was what his opening monologue was about, how talented he was.
Yeah. I hope he's good in this movie. I hope the movie's good.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think he's going to be probably the best part of this movie.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, he might be the only good part of this movie. Let's talk some other Star Wars news. Ben, what do you got?
Well, it was recently, and this goes back about a month or so, said that Meryl Streep was going to replace Carrie Fisher in episode 9, which I didn't hate. I really like Meryl Streep as an actress. She's possibly the best actress that's ever lived. But to replace Carrie Fisher, is it necessary? But then that was actually dispelled really quickly. Disney put out a press release and said, no, this is not true.
So we're going to get more CGI.
Possibly. Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. Damn. They should have sent her off in one of those two ways. We talked about that in episode 1 of our podcast. You guys can go back and check that out. We won't rehash that whole debacle. We have a nice debate about the movie, so go check that out. But let's move on, Ben. What else we got?
There's also, I kind of want to laugh about this because I'm looking at my notes, and just the note alone is hilarious. C-3PO outrage. So Mark Hamill was doing an interview, and he mentioned how the actor who has played C-3PO in every single movie since the first one is going to be in this one. So there are people who are immediately saying, oh, well, you just ruined it that C-3PO is going to be in this. And I'm thinking to myself, is that really going to ruin the movie for you if C-3PO is in maybe 45 seconds of this film? But it's just something that's...
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care if he's in this. Now, if Vader was in it, that would be cool.
And that would be a spoiler. I wouldn't want.
That would be a spoiler. But C-3PO. But also, there has been some statements saying that this takes place during the show Rebels. I watched the first 2 seasons, which were really good. It was a fun show to watch. Definitely meant for kids, but there were some episodes in there that were entertaining. Darth Maul made an appearance at the end of season 2. But
was this one that was on Disney?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It's a Disney show.
All right.
It was on Netflix for a while too.
Cool.
And then also in an interview, Mark Hamill said he doesn't believe Luke is dead. He's really stirring up the pot with fans. I think he's doing it on purpose.
He's got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he has actually a lot to do. But I don't know. Is Luke dead? Is he not dead? I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. A few weeks ago, there was that article that came out basically saying that Luke's story kind of begins and ends with a hologram. And I thought that was kind of fitting. I kind of like that, even though I didn't like Luke's departure from the film. I thought it was kind of weak in a sense. So I kind of would be excited for him to come back and get maybe a proper send-off in like a battle. That would be really cool, I think.
But let me ask you this. If they did bring back Luke, don't you think that would like demean or even minimize a lot of episode 8? Like that takes away a lot of the little impact that the movie had.
People are having that argument right now online with Avengers Infinity War saying that they're going to bring back all these characters that were dead. But I don't think that's the case because you got to think of it like that's going to be the story. That's the chapter in that story right there. So you're looking at it as like that movie in itself, how awesome part 3 is. Even if they bring them back, that doesn't make part 3 any less awesome, in my opinion.
You're talking about in Avengers?
Yeah. But in this as well, like,
I think it's going to be different, though, because with Avengers, I think in the comic book they come back. But I think if they bring Luke Skywalker back, that would be like almost bringing back Ned Stark. Like, that was such an impactful death.
All we saw him do was disappear. We didn't see him necessarily die.
Well, the same thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but they never brought him back.
Yeah, but they showed him at least as a spirit force.
As a force ghost. Yeah. I'm sure he'll come back as a force ghost. I can almost guarantee that.
Well, anyway, moving on.
Okay. So, Star Wars, talking still on Star Wars, what about this live-action TV show that's in production?
I don't really know much about it. What do I need to know? It
was said that Jon Favreau was brought on to direct. We all know Jon Favreau.
Iron Man. Awesome.
Iron Man. Happy. He's working with the writers from Game of Thrones to develop the storyline. So I'm kind of hoping of an Old Republic storyline. Like imagine a TV show similar to Game of Thrones, but 1,000 years before episode 1.
That could be really cool.
That would be awesome.
I'm kind of imagining a whole lot of boobs if they're working with the Game of Thrones people. Is it going to be Star Wars After Dark?
I don't think Disney's going to sanction that, man, at all.
All right. Well,
Star Wars After Dark. I think
to be determined.
That's Cinemax, not HBO.
All right. Let's talk some other movie news. This was something cool that I saw that at first when I heard it, I was like, I'm not really that excited. And then when I heard a little bit more, I'm like, all right, you got me again. All right, so they're doing a new Men in Black movie. Now, it's not actually a reboot. It's just going to be a continuation of sorts. And it's going to be starring, get this, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thomas, a.k.a. Thor and Valkyrie. That's kind of cool.
I'll be honest with you. I liked all the other three Men in Black. So even like if they weren't in it, another Men in Black really doesn't bother me. I think all three of them were great.
And I think that pair up is going to be really funny.
I think that would be a funny pair. I mean, it was funny in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I was going to say I liked all of her scenes in Thor Ragnarok. They had a good dynamic. So I'm on board. Damn it, they got me again. They got my money again. Damn you, Men in Black. All right, and then we mentioned this in a previous episode. The Deadpool animated series, it got canceled, and I'm still butthurt about it because I was really looking forward to it. Donald Glover was writing it, producing it as well. It was going to be on FX, and there's a bunch of rumors of why it was canceled. What did you hear?
I heard one of the major reasons for its cancellation was creative differences.
Yeah, that's kind of the excuse that they're giving us.
That's the excuse they always get.
Yeah, right. It's kind of this vague excuse, but Donald Glover was obviously very upset about this. He released a 15-page mock final script on Twitter, insinuated in a tweet that it was inappropriate to drop a show written by and helmed by all African Americans, that it was in poor taste from FX. Let's discuss, why do you think that, this got canceled?
Well, okay, in my opinion, immediately saying that it was creative differences means they don't want to reveal the real reason. And
Probably.
also the fact that Donald Glover is kind of not lashing out, but he's speaking out about it means that he wasn't even aware that there were creative differences in quotes. Now, some of the rumors online is that it was in the works shortly after the Parkland incident, and that FX thought it might be in poor taste to have a animated character like that shooting, like killing. Which, I mean, I could understand, but if it was after 10, they already have Archer. So it's kind of hypocritical in a way.
That's the thing I was gonna say. Depending on what time they aired this, that would determine who your audience is. You could air it after 10, make it TVMA, and it's for an adult audience. And I think with an animated Deadpool series, you would have to make it to an adult audience. I don't think it works in a kid's, in a G-rated audience.
You're not going to see a Deadpool Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, it's going to be a very watered down and stupid thing. So maybe, I'm thinking, what about this? Because remember, I think Donald Glover had this deal with FX before the Disney Fox merger. So do you think once Disney and Fox did the merger, was it maybe Disney that pumped the brakes on this because they were like, "Hey, we don't want to rock with that kind of thing. We don't want that content."
Now, the Disney Fox merger isn't done yet, but what it could be is that FX was given kind of like a push by their parent company saying, "Hey, we don't want to mess up this this chance to sell."
And maybe it was an edgy animated series that they had, and maybe it would just put like a little like stain on this product that they were trying to sling to Disney.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I think that also because then there's a Deadpool movie. There's 2 Deadpool movies that couldn't be any worse than the television show is going to be. There's all these other shows on FX where are a little bit edgy.
Anyway, I'm just totally bummed we're not getting it.
You know what though?
But I mean, I don't feel too bad for Donald Glover.
There's always Netflix.
Yeah, there is that, but he's also doing everything else in the world. He's a phenomenal artist. He's all around, whether it's music or television, producing, writing. Atlanta's crushing it right now.
Good.
If you haven't seen this season of Atlanta, it's really, really good. Ben, there's an episode I think you would love because it's like directed in like a horror movie way. And it's such an interesting story. Even if you know nothing about any of the characters in Atlanta, you could watch this one episode that's totally creepy and you would enjoy it because it's just based around this like one scene kind of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'll check it out. I definitely have heard good things about Atlanta. You've talked about it before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So anyway, moving on, we got some other shows that are in production. I guess they're shooting right now. Punisher,
Yeah.
coming out October sometime this year,
I
right?
think they're vague around the exact date, but October 2018.
I
Yeah.
loved Punisher in Daredevil season 2.
Amazing.
That's my favorite of any of these Netflix seasons. That was my favorite. It was just as much a Punisher story as it was a Daredevil
It
story.
was straight off the comic book.
So freaking good. The Punisher series I liked.
Oh, I loved it.
I didn't like it as much as season 2 of Daredevil though. Why'd you love it?
I don't know. It could also be a bias. I did love it because of Daredevil season 2 and his character from that season, but I always had an affinity for Punisher. I think Frank Castle was an interesting character, and the actor.
I was gonna say this actor kills it.
Isn't that amazing?
Right.
And also, I think I just started watching it after Luke Cage, and I was a little disappointed with the ending, the last couple episodes of Luke Cage season 1. And going into Punisher, the way it started, I kind of felt relieved to see something like that.
Yeah, and we're also getting Luke Cage season 2 coming up as well. Talk more about that. And we're also getting Iron Fist sometime in March. You asked me the question earlier. Am I gonna watch it?
Are you gonna watch this?
Yeah. You know what? I am gonna watch it. I mean, I didn't like season 1 at all. But am I gonna watch it? Yeah, because it's it's part of this Marvel fandom that I enjoy, and even if one season of a character might be a turd, there's sometimes overall stories that come together that I appreciate. Like Defenders, I thought was really awesome.
That was really cool.
So I had Daredevil, loved it. Jessica Jones, loved it. Luke Cage, liked it. Iron Fist, didn't like it at all. And Defenders came out, and then I absolutely loved it. So, will I watch Iron Fist 2? Yeah, sure. Why not?
There's rumors that we're not getting a Defender season 2.
Yeah, I heard that. I think they're just saying that. Come on, in a few years, they're gonna make one.
But then again, by the time Defender season 2 comes out, then Marvel and Disney will be having their own streaming service. So who knows if it might not even be on Netflix by then.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. All right, so we had some trailers come out recently too, Ben. Let's talk about them real quick. I'm excited for both of them. Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
We had trailer number 2 come out.
We saw the villain Ghost.
Yeah, she looks really cool, actually.
She looks really cool. The actress was in Ready Player One. She played a bad guy in that one. And I think that it would be...
I still haven't got to check that one out yet. I'm gonna, with my movie pass, I'm gonna do that. I gotta do that. What else? And we see we see the Wasp in action, kicking ass. There was that scene where she
throws a salt shaker and then makes it bigger to block the bad guys from exiting the kitchen.
I was gonna say I like the scene where that's awesome, but where she enters the car and starts kicking ass.
Yes, and jumping from the back seat.
Have
to
you
front
been
seat.
noticing these themes in all these superhero movies of the hero jumping into a car packed full of bad guys and kicking all their asses somehow? Started with Deadpool, which I'm sure if we look back, it probably didn't start there. That's just the most recent one that I could think of. But then we saw it in that. I feel like we've been seeing it constantly in all these superhero movies.
Maybe villains should start driving separately.
Yeah, exactly. Stop carpooling.
Not carpooling. Take different vehicles. And now Venom.
Yeah, so then we also had the trailer for Venom, and now I'm really excited.
I'm excited too.
A lot of mixed reviews, though, online.
Of course there are. People are going to be hating.
I think it looks really badass.
I think it looks awesome.
Especially when you compare it to the Spider-Man 3 version of Venom. Have you seen the memes online of people comparing them side by side? Yeah, this looks like a true version of Venom from the comics. Even the way the
symbiote, I don't know. They say it weird in the trailer.
Symbiote is how they say it. Yeah, I always said symbiote. That's what it is. And when the symbiote wraps around his head, that and the teeth wrap around as well, and then he says, we are Venom.
I love that.
Is that what he said, right?
Yeah, he goes, "We are Venom," and that's how he spoke in the comic with the "we." And I like in the part of the trailer we're in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and he hears.
I was gonna say that was really cool.
Like,
That's what I feel
amazing.
like a lot of this movie is gonna be is Venom in his head as well. And then you see the costume like coming out to defend him at points in the trailer as well.
It flashes out involuntarily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Without him controlling it, it's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Because we've always seen like the Venom like tentacles like whip out at points in some of the series of Venom. So this is cool. We're kind of getting a different version than I think anyone expected, and looks so far like it's going to be pretty badass.
Now, people are really angry over the fact that Spider-Man's not in this. They're like, well, you can't have a Venom comic without Spider-Man. Yeah, but, okay, Venom was always my favorite. Venom had plenty of other mashups with the Punisher.
Oh, yeah, he had plenty of other storylines. But but he started, though, as Spider-Man's nemesis.
Tom Holland, I heard, is making a cameo in this.
Well, that would be epic, and that's what they need to do. That would be so smart of them. They're kind of doing it in a reverse order that I'm like, I don't think they're gonna really pull the trigger and do it though when it's all said and done.
Well, we don't know the deal that Sony, a lot of the deal that Sony and Marvel struck. They could have done kind of like future projects.
Yeah.
That they never revealed to anyone. So who knows? Maybe they are going to tease Tom Holland in this. Maybe Venom's going to make a short cameo in Spider-Man 2 if he comes back alive.
Yeah. Let's see. The thing that I am excited for, though, Woody Harrelson.
They say he may be Carnage.
I know. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
I'm on board for that.
So if it's Carnage in the movie, I would be not upset at all if Spider-Man doesn't make an appearance.
Yeah. You could do this story without Spider-Man. Yeah. It would have been nice to have him in it somehow, some way, or in a future film if they tie it together. I just don't see, here's the thing though. I just don't see how they would tie in Tom Holland's universe of Spider-Man and then this other Sony universe of Venom, and then Spider-Man obtaining the suit. You know what I mean? Maybe
it won't be a tie-in. Maybe it'll just be a head nod. It could just be a, hey, we see you. Like, they'll have him come in and he'll be called Peter Parker. He won't be Spider-Man. And that'll be it.
I could see them tying in easily the working at the Daily Bugle angle.
Yeah.
I could see that part because he is a reporter in this movie, Eddie Brock, so they kept that storyline. So I could see him moving back to the East Coast at some point. And, maybe they do that. We'll see. That's a lot of speculation. But
we'll all see in October.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk DC movie news. Reportedly, Harley Quinn's going to be getting 2 upcoming films in the DC universe: a sequel to Suicide Squad and a movie based around the Birds of Prey storyline. That could be really cool.
That could be cool.
I'm excited.
Black Canary, Batgirl, like Huntress, I think, is in that too.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with that. Listen, Suicide Squad was okay. She was one of the better parts of that film, 100%. So the fact that they're going to make a sequel, I mean, the movie was successful. Storyline was kind of weak. Some of the characters were really awesome, I thought.
The villain
Will Smith was awesome, I thought. So whatever, but, we knew this was coming. We knew Suicide Squad was going to get a sequel, and the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey storyline could be really cool. I'm excited to see what they do with that. The Flash movie apparently is now not going to be a Flashpoint.
I think this
movie.
Is a mistake.
Me too, man. I think they could have fixed a lot of the errors and BS that they've been doing.
A lot of rectification on the continuity issues just by creating like time.
Well, at first, I'm such a hypocrite because at first my beef was that's so stupid that they're doing that storyline for his first movie because he has a lot of storylines they could do, and they really barely introed the guy. We're gonna go into his most epic storyline that he has in the comics. That's kind of stupid. But then I was like, all right, they can kind of fix all the crap that they did with the whether it's Batman vs Superman or the Justice League movies, they could kind of revamp some of that with the Flashpoint.
It'd be a good way to also, recast Batman.
Yeah,
because
that's what
they've
I'm
been
thinking,
discussing that. So if they can easily recast Batman by that, you can. There was a lot of potential with that storyline, but the Warner Brothers is going to do what they do. So
Yeah, they're gonna keep digging that grave, right? Anyway, the one DC movie that's coming out this year that I actually am super excited about, animated Teen Titans Go movie. We've heard a couple things, some updates, and guess what? Finally, Nicolas Cage is gonna get to play the role that he was supposed to
meant to play
all those years ago, all those decades ago. Nicolas Cage is going to be the voice of Superman. So finally, all these years later, he finally gets to be Superman.
This is a change from all of his D horror movies he's been making recently.
Ghost Rider 1 and 2.
Those are even some of the better ones. If I told you some of the movies that Nick Cage has done recently, you like Wicker Man 3.
National Treasure 12.
Yeah.
All right.
Jimmy Kimmel is playing the voice of Batman.
That's cool. So they probably got like a star-studded cast, all famous people doing these voices, or at least hopefully all recognizable people.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Speaking of the movies, we got some upcoming movies coming out this year. You already know about a lot of them. We're going to burn through this real quick. So as you know, we got Deadpool coming out May 18th. We got Solo, a Star Wars story, May 25th. Ant-Man and Wasp, I'm excited for this one, July 6th. Teen Titans Go to the movies, July 27th. Venom, October 8th, just in time for Halloween. Then we got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, December 14th.
Excited for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be good. That's an animated one. And then Aquaman, December 21st. We'll see. I hope DC can pull one more good.
That's going up against Mary Poppins. How embarrassing would it be for them if Aquaman got beat by Mary Poppins?
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. All right, we had some recent DVD releases. Ben, why don't you talk about them?
Recently, I caught up with Batman Ninja. I was actually very excited about this because I loved Gotham by Gaslight, but the animation is fantastic on this movie. I really did not care for the English translation that was going on. The voice acting, it almost reminded me of the first Resident Evil game when it was first released. Is infamous in gaming circles for the terrible, terrible voice acting.
Really?
Like
All right.
almost on the comical level. Check out YouTube channels. They have it all about that.
Sounds funny. All right.
And I think it took away from the plot. The plot was cool, and I followed it, but the storyline didn't move as well as it should have because of the really robotic way they were talking.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Gotham by Gaslight was amazing,
Awesome.
and it's sucks that this one didn't turn out to be that good. All right, something else though. If you do want something good, Black Panther DVD.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's available for digital download and for, what do you call it? Hard disk?
DVD.
Oh yeah.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, so Black Panther out now on DVD. Definitely a must for the collection.
Oh yeah.
I
Those
saw some of the
outtakes
outtakes.
alone.
Yeah, pretty funny. Black Panther, go cop that. And then what else?
Death of Superman comes out in August. I'm very excited about that. They're going to do a loyal version of the comic book where it's going to start off with Doomsday's tomb falling to Earth. And in part 2, it's going to be a two-parter. They're going to have the 4 different variations of Superman.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's actually... I'm hoping that'll be kind of a reprieve from Batman Ninja Dud.
All right, cool. We'll see what happens with that. All right, let's talk about all the season finales that we've had. All of our favorite superhero shows are coming to an end or have ended already. A few weeks back, we had The Walking Dead. They really ended the season very well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I know there's been a lot of controversy around some of the...
There's definitely
especially
haters.
Negan and Rick's final, confrontation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people were kind of like, Rick should have really killed him or he sliced his throat. Spoiler alert, sorry, Rick slices Negan's throat, but he doesn't die, and then he has the
Well, Rick
doctor
saves him.
save him. Yeah.
Well, that was supposed to show an act of aggression and an act of mercy in the same
Yeah,
moment.
exactly.
So you kind of saw two different sides of Rick.
I thought the episode was really good overall. The decision to do that was questionable. I kind of wanted a little bit I don't know. I wanted retribution, but really what I realized is I wanted vengeance for the survivors against the saviors. Really though, they got the saviors got what most of them died. They got what came to them, and Negan is not in power anymore. So by Rick showing mercy, he didn't have to kill another person basically and live and this is this vicious circle of death and stuff. What were you saying?
Isn't that worse off for Negan anyway?
What?
Being alive, but yet being thrown from your power? That's almost worse than death. I think a character like him would rather die.
So anyway, I like the way it wrapped up, but it comes back in October this year, season 9. I'm excited for it. I'm still on board. Maybe, again, maybe it's just one of those shows people need to binge watch instead of watching it
said that.
week by week. Let's see. All right, Gotham, it just had its season finale on the 17th of May. The episode The Dark Knight, No Man's Land. I'm actually like 3 episodes behind right now, but I have actually liked this season of Gotham. They've introduced some other DC characters in the mix. They're showing some of the characters develop their villainy a little bit more, which is really, really cool. Bruce Wayne is becoming not so much of a little bitch anymore. We're definitely starting to see Batman a little bit.
It's got the Joker too, right?
And yeah, it's very interesting what they've done with the Joker. So when they first started out with this series, maybe it was the first season or the beginning of the second season. It's kind of fuzzy to me. There was a character introduced named Jerome. And he was taking on some of the personality of the Joker, but at first they were saying in articles, oh, no, he's not the Joker. He's not the Joker. And then as the season went on, they started to make this character the Joker a little bit, but with a completely different backstory. Nothing like in the comics, or at least from any of the versions that I'm aware of. So anyway, and I'm like not feeling it at first. I'm like, oh, he's definitely taking styles of Jokers that we've seen before and combining them. And I think he's even admitted to this, that he's taking inspiration from, I want to say, Mark Hamill's Joker on the animated series and Heath Ledger's Joker. And the first couple times you see him, I'm like, it felt very forced. But as the series went on, his character kind of kept coming in and out. And they started taking some interesting turns and twists in the story where I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then they started really turning him into the Joker in many ways. They even gave him like scars on his face.
Well, they cut his face off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that happened in the comic.
So, so we start to see like these Joker scars on his face, and then he starts definitely doing a lot of his mannerisms, the Joker mannerisms, and laughing and all right, now I'm kind of getting comfortable with this guy as my Joker on this TV show. I'm starting to like it now. Then they fucking throw another curveball at you where they kill the Jerome Joker, but he has a twin brother that just before he died, I don't know if he brainwashed or something. That's where I left off on that episode. So I'm a few episodes back. So just as I was starting to like the Jerome character and accepting everything, it like takes another curveball, and I'm like, okay, I guess, sure, F it, why not? I don't know.
They're gonna get you to watch the next episode.
Yeah, well, let's move on from that because it's giving me a headache just thinking about it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Honestly, I haven't watched that show in a while.
Since season 1.
Yeah, season 1 I enjoyed. Season 2 started to, drift off, and then after that, I don't even know what happened. But there was something kind of interesting that happened recently.
They recently said that they acknowledged Infinity War. I think that they acknowledged the Kree.
Yeah, they referenced the Kree.
Referenced the Kree. No, in the past episodes, I was told they referenced the Accords from Civil War. So we know now though that the show doesn't hold any bearing on the MCU as a whole. The MCU may hold a bearing on what happens in the show, but it's not.
But it is in the timeline somehow.
Yeah, it is
somewhat.
in the timeline.
The only thing I like about that show is Agent Coulson, and I hope he comes back not only in Captain Marvel, which we know he is, but also in Avengers 4. That would be cool.
Maybe he's gonna be a Skrull.
So yeah, they just had their season finale on May 18th. Black Lightning, they had their season finale a few weeks ago, as well as DC's Legends of Tomorrow, as well as Arrow just wrapped up, and Supergirl just wrapped up. And honestly, I haven't watched a lot of any of those shows.
I like the crossover shows.
Recently, let's talk. I haven't watched any of Black Lightning.
I'm not planning on watching any of Black Lightning. To tell you the truth,
I watched the crossover shows of DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Crisis on Earth X was probably one
that
of
was
my
cool.
favorite.
I really enjoyed that
awesome.
one. I watched some of season 1 of that actually. It wasn't too bad. Supergirl, nah, I really only caught the crossover episodes, maybe a few other episodes here or there. I know they got Martian Manhunter on there. That's cool. I like that cool. Dude. And I know they'll actually introduce a lot of other DC characters, so that's fun. But I got to catch up on Supergirl, and I'm quite behind because they're already on a few seasons of that. And speaking of which, all of those shows, Black Lightning, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, as well as Flash and Arrow, have all been renewed for more seasons. So we're gonna get Black Lightning season 2, Legends of Tomorrow season 4, Supergirl season 4. I can't believe that's on season 4 already.
I can't believe Black Lightning's getting a season 2.
Flash season 5, and then Arrow season 1 million. No, season 7. Yeah, they're on season 7.
Good for Arrow, man.
Yeah. Arrow is really, really awesome. I loved season 1 and 2 of it. It is such a badass show, the first season. A buddy of mine kept telling me, "Oh, you got to watch Arrow." I came aboard the Arrow train super late. A friend of mine kept telling me, "Yo, you got to watch the show," and I'm like, I don't know, Robin Hood, looks lame, guy with a arrow, blah blah blah. He's like, "No, you got to watch it." So I'm like, "F it, let me give it a go." And to kind of sum up, Oliver Queen and the Arrow, think billionaire Bruce Wayne, right? But and Batman. Think Batman because the alter ego. But he kills people, and he shows no remorse for it. That's what season 1's about. It's about this quote unquote hero, anti-hero, basically just going around getting vengeance on the death of his father and family, so to speak. And it's really cool because he's kicking ass, killing people, and it's just like, whoa. You haven't seen a superhero show like this before. Then it turns into seasons, the next season is, he's like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't be killing people if I'm supposed to be doing this hero thing. People are looking up to me. And as the seasons go on, there's some really good stories that they do, a bunch of cool characters that they introduce. This is where I was going to say, this is where they first introduced Barry Allen. They do a bunch of crossover episodes. There is kind of a season that it annoys me where it seems like there's a lot of like the whole Felicity, Oliver Queen romance, and it gets boring, and it's but you got to remember, once again, it's on CW.
Yeah.
So this is also like designed for like tweens and teens, so
Well,
we got to accept that.
It's a family-friendly show.
Yeah.
I mentioned it once before in our other podcast. Like, you can watch it. You can't watch Punisher with your kids if you're a dad.
Yeah.
But you can watch these with your kids. This reminds me of like the first Flash, the first
So-
original Flash. I used to watch that with my old man. And I
Yeah.
watched-
So Arrow season 6 ends so awesome. This show though, I like binging it, because if you watch it week by week and then with like a mid-season finale or whatever they do, some episodes, run on and it seems like, kind of tedious. But when you watch like chunks of them, like 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, the story really is moving. And the way season 6 ends is like so epic. It's a great season. I watched episode 1 of Arrow season 7 and started to watch episode 2, but it started to feel too slow to me. So I was like, I'm going to wait until the whole season's over and then just enjoy it that way. But one of the shows that we have both been watching, they just ended, maybe depending on when you're hearing this podcast, they're either ending right about now or they just ended. The Flash.
That's probably one of my favorites.
It is my favorite show for any of these shows that are on TV, including anything that's on Fox or Hulu or FX. Any of the shows, Flash is my favorite.
It's really well written characters. Like, now I'll be honest with you, season 3 started off I really didn't care
A little
for
rough,
the beginning.
choppy.
But it ended really well.
I loved the storyline in season 3 of him basically he had to prevent this one event from happening, and he had to try to figure out any possible way he can make it happen. At the end of it all, it was inevitable for that moment to happen.
And he created the moment from happening. It was all due to his flashpoint. He
So
tried
cool.
to rectify the past. He went back and tried to rectify that.
So if you haven't watched any of The Flash, definitely start from beginning season
Yeah,
1
of
because
course.
it's good. Give it a few episodes. Give it like 3-4 episodes. But by the 4th episode, if you're a fan of DC, if you're a fan of superheroes, you're going to love the Flash series. So we had Reverse Flash as the villain
in
season 1.
Season 1.
Right? Then we had Zoom as
Season
the
2.
villain in season 2. That was probably my favorite season, I think. I really love the Zoom season. And the whole thing with the other Flash, Jay Gordon. Yeah, that was a great season. I really love that one. And then season 3 with Savitar.
Did you know it was him the entire time? Because
No, I didn't.
I guessed. So in episode 1 it was like episode 2 or 3 when he first met Savitar. Savitar said, "I am future Flash." I had a feeling the entire time.
Yeah, he wasn't
bearing
saying
out.
it figuratively. He was saying
He was
it
saying
literally.
It literally.
Yeah,
yes,
I got
exactly.
you. Yeah, no, cool twist. I was kind of like, when they did the big reveal, I was like, but okay,
I
it was
liked
cool.
it.
It was like, for me, it was like the build up was cooler than the payoff, but it made sense. And then it kind of ends weird. Like he had to be like imprisoned in the Speed Force.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, okay, kind of, I guess. And then we get
Well, the problem with that is that throughout all 3 of the seasons before, they kept playing on, is he with Iris? Is he not with Iris? Is
Yeah.
he with Iris? Is he not with Iris? And you're just like, come
yeah,
on, dude.
more
just
of this
Like, yeah.
to be continued. And then we had, the next season was okay. It was about like basically Team Flash. Where all that picked up. But are you watching the most recent season?
I am on season 4. I'm halfway through.
What do you think of it?
I like it a lot. And
Yeah?
I like how the new villain is the Thinker.
The Thinker.
And it's not a speedster.
Yeah, I started off not really feeling this season for some reason. I thought it was kind of weird and campy and kind of changed its tone a little bit at points. When they bring in Elongated Man,
I kind of like him.
at first I hated him, but then he grew on me and I really, really enjoyed him. And then you feel like sympathy for him like later in the season. Yeah, I really like the setup of this season with the Thinker creating the bus full of metas where he has to go around and steal their abilities. They're introducing a whole bunch of characters
I think it's cool.
from the DC universe. One of my favorite episodes was Jinx.
Oh, yes.
She was always one of my favorite characters in DC for some reason. Her ability is just basically like amazing luck. She brings amazing, like she could bring luck on herself.
She positively charges atoms around her, but inadvertently by positively charging atoms around her that makes her have good luck, it makes everyone else have bad luck.
Yes.
And the whole episode, they
It's
just kept
so good,
having
and that
terrible
episode
luck.
is hilarious. She just walks right into the bank and is able to steal without anyone even noticing her. So it's cool this season that they threw in a lot of characters I didn't even know exist, like the fucking fiddler. Do you know what I'm talking about? The cowgirl. Did you get up to her yet?
No, I haven't gotten up to her yet.
There's one character, I forget her name, but I'm like, no way this is a character in the DC comics. And sure enough,
DC,
there's a
trust me,
character
DC had
where
those
this chick is maybe it's a violin, or I think it's a fiddler. She's like a country girl playing a fiddle, and her ability is, I don't just watch it and then laugh. The season started to lose me at that episode, but then it picked it back up. Like once I saw where the Thinker was going with his whole scheme, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah, it's fun.
Now, let me ask you a question. After 4 seasons, 4 years since the original explosion, couldn't Barry and Cisco fix the outside of Star Labs? I mean, it still looks decrepit and old. Probably
They build all these gadgets, and they can't pay for some minor construction outside.
I'm not even saying pay for it. Like, he's the Flash. I'm sure with Vibe and the Flash, they can't put a couple of shingles up onto the metal outing outside to make it look appealing. Like, I don't know, guys.
I don't know how it ends yet. I'm sure it's going to end awesome. We'll see what happens. The big face-off between Flash and the Thinker. We'll get back to you on that. We have some other shows, Ben, that we're both kind of watching. Let's talk about them. Legion. I loved season 1. Season 2, I have to watch these episodes, I swear, twice to understand.
Well,
let me say this. And to a listener out there, if you don't ever want to do a drug but want to know what a hallucinogen feels like or looks like, watch Legion, because it's so trippy. It's such a mind F, and I literally have to watch episodes 2 times to like grasp the whole picture of what I just watched.
Well, some of the episodes, I feel like I'm watching sometimes a newer version of an Oliver Stone film, because some of the parts are just so like spread out. Like in episode 2, when they have the dancing scene in the nightclub.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, okay, I understand what part this has to do with the whole entire episode, but it doesn't have to be 10 minutes long of them having a weird dancing scene.
Yeah, for sure. There's some weird moments. I really, 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 really like what they're doing with the Shadow King.
Yeah.
The second season. He's now not inside of David's head anymore. He's attached himself to, I think, a guy's Oliver, the other guy with the abilities, other very powerful mutant, and he's trying to find his body so that he can put his mind or whatever. He's basically like a plague, like a leech that attaches to something. So I think he wants to try to attach his mind or his whatever he is right now, his entity, back into his body. So it's pretty cool. I dig it.
Now, we found out from season 1 that Professor Xavier, unnamed Professor Xavier, who's supposed to be David's father, was the one who detached Shadow King's body from his mind. Do you think that this will play into the futures in the episodes?
I really hope so.
I mean, he may be the only person to find it.
Because right now you're saying you kind of don't really like this season, right?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just, it's an hour-long show, and I feel like if it didn't have some of the shenanigans in between the episodes, it could be to 20, 25 minutes.
It's definitely a unique show at that.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like the actors are good.
All right. The season finale of Legion is happening on FX June 12th. All right. It comes on Mondays. Check it out. And then a show I kind of I started out liking it,
Yeah.
and then I don't know. Krypton.
It started off
You
very
you
strong.
talked about it in a previous podcast we had and described it very well. When I watched episode 1, I agreed with you with everything that you said. I loved it. I was like, "Yo, this is going to be a really cool show." I didn't think it would attract my attention, but I'm in. I watched episode 2 and it was okay. Not as good as episode 1, but I was still into the storyline. Episode 3, I was like, it's kind of
Start losing
boring.
interest.
Episode 4, halfway through, I think I shut it off, and I'm like, I think I don't know. It was boring me by episode 4.
Episode 5 was kind of working. So, for example, in The Flash, we got introduced to the Thinker in episode 1, and we've seen him throughout the first 5 episodes. He wasn't a major player, but he was in the episodes at least somewhat. He's the season's main villain, right? Brainiac is supposed to be the main villain of Krypton season 1. 5 episodes in, and I've only seen him for a combination of 4 minutes, maybe. It's if you're going to have a major antagonist throughout a season, I don't want to see him in the last 2 episodes of 13 episode season. I want to see him throughout it. I want to see the hero have to overcome him, and that's why it's kind of losing interest for me. There's too much other story stuff going on that
I do like the time traveler storyline that they have going on.
Adam Strange.
Yeah, that's cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Krypton, it's on Sci-Fi.
Let us know what you think. If you guys liked it, if you followed it. I'm interested to find out what other people's opinions are.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some more DC television, though. They're going to be getting some new TV shows on the DC streaming network soon, starting, I guess, with the Titans live action show. Now, there's been a bunch of leaked photos that came out in the last few weeks of some of the actors on the set, and a lot of people are upset over the appearance of Starfire. Fans are super disappointed. They were bitching and blogging and tweeting and just basically just complaining anywhere that they could with the appearance of Starfire, especially because she didn't really seem to have her character's signature features, including like her orange skin, the outfit, the green eyes, and even like a difference in hairstyle. I saw the picture. We're seeing something without any special effects. I hope this isn't the final version of Starfire that we're getting, because I could kind of understand why fans are mad.
I can too. Sometimes trivial changes to characters' appearances may not seem important to studios, but they may be important to fans who built their
I
liking
get it,
and
because
fan base.
if you grew up and that's your favorite character, for whatever maybe the reasons are so trivial, but you change all these aspects about her, it maybe, like, for instance, if she's not an alien too, if she's just some chick, that's going like against
It's a major change in the character's
character story. Yeah. So I could understand why fans would be mad if it ends up being something like that. We don't know. We still got some time, but we did also see pictures of Beast Boy and Raven. Beast Boy looked pretty good, actually. Raven, though, is a little underwhelming as well.
She doesn't really look gothy. She looks more. It doesn't look like her
90s
character.
grunge rock.
Yes, yeah, like she listened to Nirvana.
Yeah, a lot of Seattle music. But
Yeah.
you know what? I've seen a lot of better cosplay, though, for all of these characters at like Comic-Con or online. So I could also see why fans might be a little bit mad, because we could see someone who puts together a better costume with, a few, paint kits and some fabric for $200 or whatever it costs. And these big Hollywood, studios or movie sets or TV production studios can't really level up to the same quality. I get it, totally. Some other exciting news, though, from the DC streaming service.
I'm excited about Swamp Thing was just announced. I used to watch the 90s television show a lot, and if they have it almost a very lighthearted and kind of like Flash and MacGyver, like it used to be in the 90s, I would be excited. Even if they turned it dark, I think I would be excited. Swamp Thing was always a cool character, and this is very nostalgic for me.
I always think it's a character that DC hasn't even utilized
They
as
always
much as they
forget
should.
it's in their
They can make
universe.
they could really make an awesome horror film with Swamp Thing, I
Yeah.
think. But we're not only getting Swamp Thing, we're getting a few other TV shows.
We're getting Young Justice Outsiders, and Harley Quinn animated series. That seems.
All right.
They're really pushing with her, huh?
Oh, of course. She's a bit, she has such a huge fan base.
Yeah, she does.
Even before the movies, there was a cult following for Harley Quinn fans.
All ignited from the
I think
animated
Kevin
series.
Smith named his daughter Harley because of the character.
He did.
So, I mean, come on.
Metropolis was put on hiatus, though. The show that was supposed to be somewhat similar to Gotham, but based around Metropolis, like
okay.
that was put on production hiatus for undisclosed reasons. Maybe it's because they want to focus on the other stuff first before,
Yeah.
Going.
I don't really. I'm not crying tears over that. The other ones though, yeah. Give me Swamp Thing. Give me Harley Quinn animated. I'm up for that.
Young Justice and Outsiders looks cool too.
All right, we also got some other upcoming TV shows. We got Cloak Dagger coming to Freeform June 7th.
What channel is that?
I don't know. It used to be something else, and now it's Freeform. I think it was maybe like a Hallmark channel or some sort of like chick kind of channel. Like
Now, is that on Sling? Is that on, do I have to subscribe
I
to
have
some
no
obscure
idea.
satellite
But I did see
thing?
the trailer for it, and it looks kind of cool.
I mean, I would be excited about Cloak and Dagger, but
I'd watch it. I kind of
Freeform
watch
is
all
such
these
a
shows.
random channel.
I give all these shows a chance at least.
yeah. Yes, you do. You're gonna watch Iron Fist season 2.
Anyway, we got Luke Cage coming back.
Oh, yeah.
June 22nd. We got to watch the trailer for that. That looks like a lot of fun, right?
Misty Knight with her bionic arm.
Yeah, we get Misty Knight with the bionic arm. That looked really dope. We also got to see a new villain.
Yeah, Bushmaster. He within the trailer, he kicked Luke Cage's ass. That was exciting. I
we
like
see
that.
in the trailer Luke Cage stopping bullets, gangs, all this sort of violence and
He takes a
awesomeness.
hard uppercut to the chin, and all of a sudden he's spitting up blood.
Yeah, by some guy who's like half his size,
Yeah.
skinny almost, or just not as brolic for sure.
That's got me excited.
The Bushmaster, he's a character that first made his appearance in the comics in Iron Fist issue 15. So that's kind of cool. They're tying together some of these.
Iron Fist villains with Luke Cage.
Yeah, we'll see maybe where that goes. And again, the soundtrack on Luke Cage is one of my favorite things about the show. We got some Eric B. and Rakim in there. We got M.O.P. It just gets me hyped. Anytime I hear these awesome hip-hop tracks, and then you see Luke Cage kicking ass, like music and comics is me wrapped up in a nutshell. So that's one of the reasons why I love
Black Panther was a great combo for that.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I love Luke Cage so much. All right, we're almost done here. There was some cool little things that came out in the comic book world, Ben. Let's touch on those because, this is a show about superheroes.
So Fantastic Four is being reissued again.
yeah, so I guess they're revamping the Fantastic Four and giving them a new storyline.
Yeah,
and-
they originally stopped doing that in the comics over the Fox and Marvel deal. Marvel was not happy of their treatment in the films, so they stopped issuing new comics. But now they're going to issue newer comics again and reignite their timeline. That's pretty
Nice.
exciting.
And that's cool because also, speaking of the Disney and Fox deal, we heard rumors of John Krasinski, is it?
Kaczynski,
aka Jim from The Office, playing Mr. Fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
After seeing his movie A Quiet Place and seeing him as a leading role and as a kick-ass dad, as a protector, as a hero,
A sympathetic character.
I think he could crush it as Reed Richards.
Absolutely.
And especially if it's like a storyline where he needs to save Sue Storm or something like that. Like
I
there's
was
a moment in
thinking
there.
of a Doctor Strange sequel where they do like an Illuminati storyline.
Possibly.
With like him
I
and
think
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think it'd be nice if they maybe introduce him, you're saying, in Doctor Strange, and then they do their own. Okay, kind of like they would with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could be down for that. But yeah, anyway, just that thought popped in my head. Something else that came out in the comic book world that I thought was really cool. Obviously, a huge name in the comics, Frank Miller. This is something kind of exciting. He's working on Superman Year One. Now, one of Frank Miller's masterpieces is Batman Year One. That storyline. So I'm really excited to see what he does with this.
He also did Sin City and 300.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what he does with this Superman Year One comic.
That could mean it could be really dark. I'm going to go pick that up too.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode. We kind of gave this to you for, an in-between because I'm going to be hitting the road for a few weeks. So we will be a couple weeks late on our Deadpool review. We'll probably do a Deadpool and Solo movie. Even though both of us don't have big expectations for a Solo movie, we'll throw it in there. We'll see. Maybe it'll be really good. Who knows?
You know what? Who knows? Maybe it will surprise us.
Yeah, so we'll give you that episode around June 15th. But in the meantime, check this out. Remember, we got this Thanos Pop Funko giveaway going on. All you have to do is subscribe to us on either YouTube or iTunes and leave a comment, and you're automatically entered. Do that for us. Please make sure to follow us, like us, turn on the notifications, get all of these episodes right to your phone as soon as we post them, and show us some love by doing it as well. We really appreciate our fan base out there. We're growing. We're also on IG and Twitter as well, so join us in the conversations. We're always posting memes and theories and some fun stuff, and we really have taking it up a notch with our YouTube videos, starting with episode 4, Avengers.
Yeah, our YouTube videos now have visual references to follow along with for your entertainment. Just kind of watch while you're listening to us speak.
It makes it really fun to watch and see all these different clips from the comic books, from the movies, from fan art. Anyway, so yeah, make sure to follow us on social media. Make sure to subscribe. Enter the Thanos Pop Funko giveaway, YouTube, iTunes podcast. All right, that just about does it for us here. Thank you for listening to episode 5 of the Infinite Universe podcast. And remember, although we may be a-holes, we are not 100% dicks. That's it for us. Until next time, I'm J-Days.
I'm Ben Metlis.
We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace.